Either you're going to move and possess what God has for you, or you are going to forfeit the blessings.
Yes! I come to praise Him. Watch me praise Him too. He is worthy of the praise.
You are like the children of Israel in Numbers 13. When Moses sent the 12 spies in the land of Canaan to spy out the land, God had already made the promise to them that the land was theirs. But what they kept looking at was the giants in the land. We look like grasshoppers. I can't do it. I don't have the credentials. I can't do it. I don't have the resources. I can't do it. Lord, I'm afraid. But if God has placed a promise in you and God is telling you to move, listen, if you don't obey the voice of God through the Holy Spirit, my sister and brother, you are going to miss out on the blessing that God has in store for you. I told you this morning, 2 Chronicles 20. 2 Chronicles 20. All he told Jehoshaphat and the nation of Israel to do was move. Move. Judah got up that morning. They worshiped. They praised. They were ready to move. They didn't ask questions. They just simply moved. Jael told them where God told them to show up, which was the pass of Ziz. Show up there. You won't even need to fight. Many of you, the thing that you're wanting God to prove that He's going to provide, can I tell you, He's not going to do that. Jesus already told us, blessed are those who believe without seeing. When are you going to take possession? Will you have the spirit of Caleb and Joshua? I know it looks scary. I know you may look like a butterfly to those people who are already in that space. I know leaving and trying to get your own place looks frightening because maybe in a long time you've not paid your own rent. Maybe in a long time you've not had full sufficiency to take care of. But if, and only if, the Spirit of God is leading you to do something, obey what God is telling you to do. I'm warning you, my sister and brother. I don't know, just sitting here, I'm reading Numbers 13 right now, and God has me all over the place right now just because of some things that I'm dealing with. And one of the things that He's working in me is faith. Believe me. I've showed you how when you came home from prison, before you even came home, I already had a job lined up for you. I showed you how when you left Florida and I brought you up here to Georgia, how your probation officer, your federal probation officer gave you 2 weeks to find a job. Wasn't hoping you would, but when you got here, I already had something lined up for you and you found a job in a week. I showed you how when you went to the other state for that charge, they was trying to give you 10 years, but I let you walk out of that courtroom with no additional time, and all you had was a small little court cost restitution to pay. So I've proven myself to you time and time again. What has God proven Himself to you with, my sister and brother? Can you look back in your life and see miracles that God has performed for you, doors that God has opened for you, and now you are at a Red Sea, so to speak, or now you are ready to take a hold of the promise. God is ready to release the promise in your hand. He's ready to give you the new place. He's ready to give you the new job, but you're afraid. They're saying, I don't have the credentials, Lord, and God, I don't make enough. But you don't know the heart of man that God is going to touch to favor you. Yeah, you may not make enough on that job. You know, nowadays they want you to make 3.5 times the income, the rent, in order to be able to rent a place. Mortgages, you have to have so much money saved. You have to make so much money. You don't know how God will change systems. Listen, I am living in a house that God has changed the system for me. God moved a debt out of the way for me to build this home. The first lender saw the debt and wouldn't give me the loan. I prayed. I trusted God. I cried out to God. By the time I went to the second lender, which wasn't even a month later, God had moved it out of the way. It was like He parted the Red Sea for me to come through, just like the children of Israel. And then He closed it back up. I've been in my house now 13 years, my sisters and brothers. There is nothing that God won't do, but you have got to be willing to move. Just like He told Jehoshaphat and the nation of Israel in 2 Chronicles 20. Just like Moses. And Moses, when he sent the spies in Numbers 13 to spy out the land, it wasn't trying to figure out how they were going to do it. It was preparation. You still have to prepare. You still have to fill out the application. You still have to go on an interview. You still have to provide the bank statements. None of that is going to matter because God has already promised you it is yours. Fear is gripping you. The enemy is using fear to grip you, to keep you from walking and possessing all that God has. And you know what? Do you remember the children of Israel? What did God do with them? Because of their unbelief, their fear, they're saying we look like grasshoppers to them. We saw the Amalekites, the Anak living there, and they are huge. Them people weren't probably even studying them. Because if they were, you would have never been able to leave out that land spying on that land. You got in there and took some of the good, luscious grapes that were in that land. So my sister and brother, what is it that God is telling you to do? That you are allowing fear to hold you back? What is it? And if I could pray with you, what is it? Just one word. One word in the comment. I don't want the word fear because I know that's what's keeping you back. False evidence appearing real. What is it? What is the one thing that is holding you back from moving in the promise, the vision, the dream, the word that the Holy Spirit is giving you? What is the one thing that is holding you back from doing what God has told you to do? Moses was only preparing. He wasn't afraid of possessing the land. He just needed to know how to go in and maneuver and get what he needed. It's just like if God is telling you to open up a business. Yes, you need to go in there to figure out, okay, let me go check with the landlord to see what do I need to do to get the place. The brick and mortar place, you got to fill out application. So what is it that I need? So you can come back and prepare. And once you prepare and get those things together, you pray over those things before you submit them so that God favors them. What is it that you need? Maybe you need finances. Okay, you may need to go to a bank to get a loan. All right, God, my credit won't stand up for the loan. But God, I believe in my spirit you're telling me to do this. So Lord, I'm putting together the application. I'm putting together the bank statements. I'm putting together all the things that they say I need. But God, I can't do it in my own strength. My sister and brother, I just felt led as I'm sitting here and I'm reading this. You got to move in it. For without faith, you cannot please him. Anything done outside of faith is sin. Pick up the spirit of Joshua and Caleb, who remembered how God delivered them from Egypt, who remember how God provided for them in the wilderness. That's what I'm having to do right now. I'm battling some things and I'm saying, Lord, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. I don't like these things coming against me. But I am reminded of the same God who, when I came out of prison doing state and federal time, you opened doors for me before I even got to the door. When I moved to Georgia, you already had opportunity available for me. When I had to go to the other state and I was facing 10 years and I turned towards that window and I said, Lord, that's not what you told me in the spirit. You caused that lady, that prosecutor, to let me walk out those doors with only a small little bit of court cost restitution. And when I came home, and after because I was pregnant while I was incarcerated, when I had my baby, you gave me a job right afterwards, being arrested, being a convicted felon. I'm living in a home that you parted the Red Sea, so to speak, for me, to me being able to live in. Me and my son to this day. When I closed down my business, I didn't know how I was going to pay my mortgage, my car payment, his school fee, provide food for him. But you did not allow me to lack anything I needed. I didn't have anything that I wanted, but I had everything that I needed. So I know if your word says in Hebrews 13:8, you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. I know that even now in this, that I am afraid of, that I don't want to deal with, that I know is my doing, my bad choices, my wrong decisions. All of those things behind me were my bad choices, my bad decisions. But God, you brought me through. I've confessed my sins, God. I've made known to you my mistake, my wrong in it. And so I believe even now. And that's what you have to do, my sister and brother. So I just want you to put one word, the one thing outside of fear, because I know it's fear. What is the one thing I want you to put down in the comments that's keeping you from moving in what God has placed in your heart to move into? I warn you, my sister and brother, if you don't, it's going to cost you. And don't let it cost you like it did the children of Israel, who for the rest of their lives until a new generation was born, those who would not enter in because of unbelief, God calls them to wander around in the wilderness, never possessing what he had promised them. what is the thing that God has promised you that you won't possess? I just want you to think. I just want you to think. I'm going to pray over everyone who puts a comment down in there. And I'm going to lift you up to God, that God will give you strength, boldness, and courage to move in what he has called you to. Because I don't want you to miss what God has for you. As I'm praying for myself, I don't want to miss the blessing and the forgiveness and the open door that God has for me. I pray that you all have an amazing Saturday today. I pray that you rest well tonight. I pray that you give it to God, my sister and brother. Know that I am praying for you. Shalom.